Hi guys, so today I'm going to show you how to turn a handwritten note into this beautiful Father's Day coffee mug. So you are going to need your handwritten note, a coffee mug, your rubbing alcohol, scraper tool, Cricut machine, standard grip mat, weeding tool, some scissors, your transfer tape, permanent vinyl, whichever one you choose to use, and then I just use the cloth for stabilizing my mug at the end. Let's get started. Before you start, just go ahead and measure the area that you want your vinyl to go on a mug. And make a note of this so that at a later stage when you are in design space and you're sizing your vinyl, that you can keep this in mind. So if I look at mine, I don't necessarily want mine to be wider than 3.5 inches and higher than 2.5. So 3.5 by 2.5, that's mine, but just make sure to measure yours before you get started. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a picture of this note that you have and share it to your computer. So you're either going to email it to yourself or you're going to share it via Google Drive or iCloud or whatever, and then download it onto your computer. Mine will just automatically go into my downloads folder on Windows Explorer, and that's where I'll be able to find it. So one note when taking a picture of this image is to actually, before you share it to your computer, to just crop any of the background out and basically just have the wording that you are going to use. So for the purpose of this exercise, I've emailed this to myself. So you're going to open the image or the message and then download the image. So mine will go straight into my downloads folder on Windows Explorer. You will then open the website picsvg.com on another tab. So this site basically gives you the capability of converting any picture, JPEG, GIF, PNG picture or image to an SVG. So you're going to upload the picture that you just downloaded onto your computer. So you're going to click download a picture and then you're going to search for it. So as I mentioned earlier, mine will be in the download section and I will just open that. If you scroll down a little bit on the site, you will see the original resized image on the left hand side and your option on the right. So when you look at it like this, don't stress too much, because if you click on the down arrow over here, it gives you different options. So you can literally just go down here, try every single one of them and find one that's basically cleaned up the most. So I'm just going to take this one and I'm going to say download SVG. And again, it is going to download this image or this SVG into my downloads folder on Windows Explorer. So you can now go and reopen Cricut Design Space and say new project. And then click on the upload button on the left hand side of your screen at the bottom. We are now going to look for the SVG that we downloaded earlier. So you are going to say upload image and browse for it. And my Windows Explorer will come up and I will just click on that SVG. And there you have it. So it does say cut image. I'm just going to change the name, Father's Day, and say upload. My image is sitting there now, so I can click on it and say add to canvas. Let's just resize it a little bit so that we can see what we're doing. And as you can see, there's not really any imperfections over here. To make sure, what you can do is just click on it and say ungroup. And then just highlight your writing, group it together, and then hide the group. Let's just do that. And as you can see, there's nothing else. So sometimes there's little imperfections on the actual card, or you weren't able to clean it up properly, or whatever it is, and it will come up here if you group your letters together. You'll be able to see if there's anything specific that you still need to be cleaning up. But in this case, we don't have it, so this is basically what we are going to use for our mug. So our measurement was 3 by 2.5, so let's just make the height 2.5, and it will auto adjust the width. So there we go. We can now, while it's highlighted, or all the words are grouped together, we can go and say attach to make sure that it all shows up on the same mat. So let's just move it to the side of my mat a little bit, and we can now go ahead and say make it. You'll now choose on mat unless you're using smart vinyl. I'm using a 12 by 12 inch mat, and I'm going to say continue. Just checking everything again, basic cut, on mat, 12 by 12, and I don't need to mirror my image, so I'm going to say continue. To set your base material, you can click on browse all materials. You can choose vinyl on this side, and then I'm using the premium permanent glossy vinyl. So I'll do that and say done. My pressure is default, and it tells me that I need to load my fine point blade, and I'm all set to go. So now I can add my vinyl to my standard grip mat and load it into my machine. We can now go ahead and make the cut. Once your cut is complete, you can eject your mat. You can now go ahead and weed your design. Once completed, you can add your transfer tape, and we're ready to transfer it to our mug. In order to transfer our image, we're going to just remove the backing off the transfer tape and add the transfer tape. Just place it over the image. You can now use your scraper tool to just make sure that the vinyl sticks to the transfer tape, and you can then go and lift the entire design off the mat. If you want, you can use your scraper tool again. Just make sure it adheres to properly, and you can then go ahead and lift the backing away from your vinyl. If anything sticks, you can just go back again and just press down a little bit to make sure that it actually stays on the transfer tape. And now our design is ready for our mug. So the next thing we want to do is just make sure that there's nothing on the surface of the mug that prevents the vinyl from sticking or it causing bubbles. So we're just going to take a coffee filter, a little bit of rubbing alcohol, and clean our mug. So you're just going to rub it on the surface of the mug. Just make sure that we have no impurities. There we go. So we're now ready to add our vinyl to our mug. So in order to stabilize our mug, I'm just going to use a dishcloth. So You can either eyeball it or use the taco method or even the wet method, but I think I'm just going to eyeball it, and I'm going to just add my vinyl right there. So what you can do is just stick it down in the middle and rub it down with your fingers. Because this is a curved area, what you can do is you can also cut little slits. Should have done this before the time. Just cut little slits of into your transfer tape in order for it to curve properly. You just use your fingers. And then this one. There we go. Once you are done, you can just remove your transfer tape. I just noticed I lost a spot, so this came back. Let's just add that one. And there we go. So you can now fill this with chocolates or serve your dad his hot coffee on Father's Day morning in it, and I'm sure he would love it.